Good morning. Uh, Today we'll take up the sermons at Banaras. We started it. Let us see what we had seen. This is sermon at Benares. We all know that Gautam Buddha had attained enlightenment in Bodh Gaya, right? And from there he went to Sarnath. Sarnath is about 10 kilometers away from Banaras. Right? The other name for Banaras is Kashi. Okay, so in Sarnath he gave his first sermon, and this sermon has become very famous, and it is depicted in many of the books that have been written about Gautam Buddha. So this story is about Gautam Buddha, who was born as a prince. Okay, as a prince, his name was Gautam Siddharth. Right? He led a very royal life, princely life, and one day when he saw four sights which changed his life. He had studied everything, and when it was time, he got married also. He had a son. His son's name was Rahul. So he got married, had a son, had a wonderful life, had a princely life, life of all comfort. But one day when he was going out, he saw four sights which changed his life entirely, completely. One was when he saw a sick man who was under a very uh, great pain. He was suffering. Okay. The other was an aged man who could not walk properly, who was uh, not having the strength that is needed to lead a very good life. The third was a death procession, okay, where the people were taking out the dead body for cremation, and here he saw the end of the life of a man. And then finally he saw a monk begging for alms, which made him realize that he can fulfill his requirements like this also. So these four sights changed his life completely, and he renounced the world. He sat for salvation, he sat for meditation, and uh, in Bodh Gaya he attained the enlightenment. And then he started preaching. His first sermon at Banaras was in Sarnath in Banaras, where he had this lady come to him. Her name was Kisa Gautami. Kisa Gautami was a lady who had lost her son. Her son was ill and he died. So he asked everyone to help so that he could come back to life. She would have her son once again, but no one helped. Right? How could anyone help to give life to a dead boy? Someone told her that if you go to Gautam Buddha, he can help you. She rushed to Gautam Buddha because she wanted her son back. She was in great grief. She was suffering a lot. She was crying and she was missing her son, and then that is why she rushed to Gautam Buddha. When she went there, she asked Gautam Buddha that, can you get my son back? He is dead. Gautam Buddha said that yes, I can get your son back. You have to get me a handful of mustard seed. She was very happy. Only one handful of mustard seed can bring back her son. Right? But Gautam Buddha said, the condition is that you have to get this mustard seed from a house where no one has died. No one has lost his or her son, her husband, mother. father, sister, brother, friend, anyone. That means a house which has no one who is dead. Okay. She went to some houses. She asked, "Is there anyone dead in your house?" The people were surprised. They said, "There are less living and more dead." Right? Less living and more dead, which means you can count the people who are living. Suppose you have 6 members in your family. There are 6 members. How many are dead? Grandparents, great grandparents, great great grandparents. You can count endlessly how many people have died. So there are less living and more dead. Right? So Kisa Gautami went to next house, to next house, to next house. Each of the house, everyone said that there was someone who had died. Now, Kisa Gautami was so disappointed that she sat on the banks of the river and she saw the whole town. The whole town was shining, the lamps were burning in the houses, and as the night grew, the lamps started being put off. People went to sleep, so they put off the lamp. Right? Now, when she saw the whole city engulfed in darkness, she realized this is the life of human beings. Switching on and off, right? Flickering like the light. And finally, there is darkness. That means the man dies. Okay? So there is the similarity between the flickering light and then total darkness and the life of human being. Okay? She comes back to Gautam Buddha and Kisa Gautami, who had realized that she had been selfish because she wanted her son back. Right? Now, Gautam Buddha said the life of the mortals in this world is troubled. Okay? And brief. That is very short. And combined with pain. We all have to suffer. Mortals means one who is going to die. Okay, the opposite of mortal is immortal. Okay, immortal. So the mortals, we all are mortals, we have to die one day. So we are mortals and we are going to die one day. And our life is very brief, very short. Okay, and we all have sufferings in our life. We all have pain in our life. This pain can be in any form. It can be your physical pain, your mental pain, loss of someone. Each these things are the pain that is incorporated in our life. Right? Now she was uh, a bit cool, right? She had understood that she had grieved a lot. And then Gautam Buddha gave the example that one who is born is going to die. It is for sure. If we are born, we are destined to die. Right? We are not immortal. We are born, we are going to die. Okay? Even it can be at an early age or it can be after we attain our old age. Right? Now he gives examples of two things. One is the ripe fruit. Okay? The ripe fruit. When it is ripe on the trees, it is ripe, it falls down. Right? And the other is the earthen pot. Okay? The earthen pot, which is going to be broken one day. Okay? Earthen pot. If you use it for some time and then it is broken, it is again immersed in the earth from where it had risen. So the human being is also like the ripe old fruits and the earthen pots. Right? So it is obvious that we are going to die. So both the wise as well as fool, they have to die. The rich or the poor, they have to die. The old or the young, they have to die. So this is the bitter truth which we have to accept. So Kisa Gautami was forced by her situation, her condition, to understand that human is humans are mortal and one day we are going to die, irrespective of anything that we possess. Okay. Then he says that uh, when people die, it is always a relation which dies, right? When a person dies, either it is a father or a son or a mother or a daughter or a wife or a brother or a sister, grandmother, any relation, one who dies. Okay, so there is grief. If there is grief, and if we immerse our life in that grief, in that sadness, can we bring that person back? No, we cannot bring that person. If we keep on crying for days and months and years and we fill buckets of tears, can we bring any person back? No, we cannot bring any person back. So, what is the use of crying? What we should do is accept the truth. Okay, accept what is the nature's law. The mortals who are born, they have to die. So the wise man, they do not grieve because they know what the rule of the nature is. What is the terms of the world. So wise people do not grieve. Okay. The other thing that happens when someone dies is that we lose our peace of mind. Right? When we lose our peace of mind, what happens? It not just gives pain to our body, but our mind also. Okay? When we are in severe pain because of the grief, we think that it is only the mental pain that we have. No, we are torturing our body also. Our body becomes weak, our body becomes pale, right? And we become sick because we grieve so much, right? So there is no use of grieving. One is that we cannot bring back anyone who is dead. The other is by grieving, we are torturing ourselves. Okay, we are torturing not just our body but also our mind. So it is useless to grieve. So what we should do? If we have to seek peace, if we want to have peace, if we want to attain peace, what should we do? Draw out the arrow of lamentation and complaint and grief. Draw out the arrow. That means the pain that is piercing your heart. Okay, you have to take that out. Lamentation. Lamentation means grieving for someone. Okay, take out that arrow. The pain and the grief, all those should be taken out of our body and mind. Of course, we are sorry to lose someone. We are very sad to lose our near and dear one. But what should we do? We should try to overcome that grief. Right? And if we try to overcome that, definitely we are going to succeed and we can overcome. And then if we can overcome that, we will become free from sorrow and be blessed. Okay, God also doesn't say that you grieve so much. God also says that one who is born is destined to die. We can say that even the gods who have taken the avatar, incarnation, right, who have taken the avatar like Ram and Krishna, they also died, right? If they were born and they died, we are humans, right? We are destined to die. So what should we do? What should we do so that we are remembered even after our death? The deeds, right? Our deeds will be remembered even after we die. Why we are reading the lesson of Gautam Buddha? Gautam Buddha did something unique, something very, very different, right? That is why we know him. Why we remember Gandhiji? Because he did something which can be remembered even after generations, right? Why we remember so many kings who did so much reforms? Because they did something which we appreciate, right? So people should do their deeds so that they will be remembered even after death. So the gist of the story says that don't grieve for the dead because you cannot bring that person back and you will have your body and mind filled with pain. You are going to torture your body, right? So if you want to be blessed, you have to stop being a person who grieves, right? So we learn that no one can escape the cycle of death. Kisa Gautami, who was overwhelmed with sorrow and pain that her ability to think clearly was clouded. She wanted her son back. She could not realize that no one can escape the cycle of death. So, when Kisa Gautami failed to find the handful of mustard seed that could fulfill Lord Buddha's condition of having seen no death in the family, she was very disheartened, right? And after deep reflection, she made peace with the ways of the world, the terms of the world, where it is said that people are who are born are bound to die. Here, Lord Buddha played a major role in facilitating the shift in her understanding, right? And he taught her a lesson that one must not grieve for what is bound to happen. Because if we grieve, it is going to deepen the pain and suffering that we have. And man is mortal, that is to be understood by each and everyone. And that is what Gautam Buddha made Kisa Gautami realize. So when she became conscious that she had been very selfish in her sorrow, she wanted her son back. But after realizing the fact, she said that she had understood the ways of life, the terms of the world, and then she stopped grieving. Right? Thank you.